Hello and welcome to Cricket Country's preview of match 28 of the Indian Premier League, in which a deflated Royal Challengers Bangalore will square off against Kings 11 Punjab. Now, with 6 consecutive defeats, the Royal Challengers Bangalore have equalled the erstwhile Delhi Daredevils, obviously now known as the Delhi Capitals, for the worst start ever by a team in the history of IPL. Now, the fact that the Daredevils back in 2013 had also lost 6 games, and not surprisingly had finished with the wooden spoon. Unless RCB pulls something extraordinary, miraculous from here on, they too seem to be heading in the same direction. Only one team has managed to pull off a similar comeback, that is in the year 2014 when Mumbai Indians had lost their first 5 matches and miraculously enough had made it to the playoffs. RCB are obviously a defeat more in this scenario. But here's the thing, one more defeat and it's all over. Not only will this be the worst ever start by a team, it will also end all their hopes of progressing further in the tournament. Now, as much as failing as a team might be held accountable for their loss, it is also the individuals that have really failed to step up, and that is one thing that has hurt RCB the most. According to a mind-blowing stat, and hear me out, RCB have dropped a number of 14 catches so far in this season and have bowled 6 no balls, again the most by any franchise. They have scored over 200 runs and yet failed to defend the total surprisingly. The team is extremely and too much reliant on Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, and every time either batsman fails to score, the rest of the batting just crumbles. Keeping aside Parthiv Patel's half century, there hasn't been a single fruitful contribution from the batting order except Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. On top of it, they simply lack good bowlers, to be very honest. Tim Southee has been way too expensive for the amount of experience he possesses, and the domestic pacers Mohammad Siraj and Navdeep Saini have leaked runs even though they have generated a lot amount of pace. Now, up against a struggling RCB, this is the ideal scenario for Kings 11 Punjab to overcome the defeat to Mumbai Indians and again, prove that this is one of their better starts in the history of the IPL. The last ball defeat to Mumbai Indians the other night must have left them stung, obviously so. But 4th on the points table, this has been KXIP's better starts, and they are overwhelmingly favourites to win this encounter. The team balance is far more superior to that of their counterparts, and this side is currently oozing confidence. Will they extinguish RCB's final ray of hope? We have all the reasons to believe so. Now, with no clarity over Chris Gale's fitness and the extent of the injury, it is likely that the West Indian will be offered rest and his back be allowed to heal. In that scenario, KXIP might bring in and revert to the opening combination of KL Rahul and Sam Curran, which took the side against the Delhi Capitals. Nicholas Pooran and Moises Henriques are good middle order options. Henriques was obviously the captain of Sydney Sixers, and Pooran obviously has played in the IPL earlier. Pooran's inclusion will spare KL Rahul the additional responsibility of keeping wickets, which obviously is not a bad move. But there are also doubts over Mayank Agarwal's availability because he had to miss the previous match following the injury sustained to his finger. Now, the Royal Challengers Bangalore, right then, this is something the team management has been pondering deeply as well. To be very honest, it is unlikely that RCB will tinker with their batting order because, let's face it, that's probably the best that they've got at the moment. But yes, one compulsory change that the team might not shy away from is bringing Umesh Yadav in ahead of Mohammad Siraj. In the last 2 games, Siraj has been woefully out of form, dropping catches, bowling beamers, and even in the last game, he bowled just 1.4 overs and went for 14 runs, which is, again, not expected from a bowler who's played at the international level. Replacing him with Umesh Yadav is not a move that they should be too hesitant with because, RCB had spent considerable amount, keeping Umesh, and, they would want to get their best bowler out there. The other change I see happening is the inclusion of Shivam Dube. Yes, he's had, he's had a couple of forgettable games, not entering the double figures so far in the tournament. But again, during the auction, RCB had invested ₹5 crore and it doesn't make many sense to keep a player of his abilities out.